Hannah Hidalgo averaging 11 boards per game in this tournament. Hidalgo spinning, got denied by Strong. Wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Here is Fudd. Fudd digs in, misses the banker, and Hidalgo flies back for the rebound.
With the way Notre Dame is playing off of Sarah Williams, you wonder how quickly UConn and Coach Gina Auriemma will go to Blanca Quiñones off the bench.
Foul called on Shade here. Now, we asked Gina Auriemma, does anything concern you about this matchup today? And he said, yeah, Hannah Hidalgo concerns me. And he said, I was talking about this with my assistants. When you face a team that's found a little groove, that's gained some confidence and rhythm, as there it is, Rebecca, Blanca coming in right now, and then they have a player like Hidalgo, he said that's always a dangerous game in this tournament.
He compared her to Diana Taurasi in the way she was able to elevate all of those around her when they got things going in the tournament.
Specifically her senior year when so much of the talent around her had left. Hidalgo kicks, De Jesus connects on a big three. Notre Dame going to need that from De Jesus as well as more.
When these teams met earlier in the season, Notre Dame was 1 for 16 from three. Vitally important to get that kind of firepower from the perimeter.
And they were 1 for 17 in the Sweet 16 against Vandy. Fudd dishes, Strong drops it out of bounds to Notre Dame.
So Hannah Hidalgo creates that shot by getting 2 feet in the paint. AZ Fudd late with the closeout. De Jesus able to hit. Then on this end of the floor with Sanchez, terrific help defense to help cause that turnover.
And there's the struggles you were talking about from Notre Dame in that game at UConn on January 19th. Hidalgo wiggling, fading, can't get the roll. Strong the box out. Arnold the fling ahead. Quiñones will lay it in.
Quiñones just brings something very different for the UConn Huskies. Her ability to run the floor. They go small, but now they have 5 players who can hit threes. And yes, I will be able to pronounce her name appropriately sooner rather than later.
Strong digs in there, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow belongs with Notre Dame. Tight game early, midway through the first, with a trip to the Final Four on the line.
Effort running the floor.
Off to Prosper. Prosper finds an angle and lays it in. It was Prosper with that game-winning layup off the Hidalgo pass to beat Vanderbilt in the Sweet 16.
Prosper
dealing with the pressure of Prosper. Zabel kicking. Quiñones again. Left. Hidalgo in some trouble. Fudd comes up with it, and Quiñones will lay it in. And that'll end the first. 12 for Blanca Quiñones, and a 9-point Connecticut lead after 1.
Connecticut's defense making an impact, and Blanca Quiñones is as well.
State in a quarter this season, and it comes in the biggest moment of the season thus far for UConn. Here's Strong, kicking it out, getting it back, doubled, looking for help, finding it in shade. Quiñones will fire. No, missed that one. Arnold the rebound, gets it back to Quiñones. Fudd nearly threw it away, and did. It's Notre Dame basketball. Looked like Fudd was ready to let it fly and then decided to give it up, and Quiñones had vacated.
Yeah, she should have let it fly.
Generally, you know, the three-point shooter shoots it at 46%. You want her taking it. Notre Dame, 5 of 6 off of passes. They are 0 for 7 off the dribble as that's out of bounds. And just Moore and Coles unable to get on the same page there.
And in the interview with Holly, Neil Ivey said, you know, usually Hannah Hidalgo can get things going herself. You know, 4 steals in the first quarter against Vandy, no steals against UConn. Has not gotten an easy look at the rim as a result.
Strong, off to Quiñones. Here is Shade. Strong, the quick turn, left it short. Shade tracks it. Hidalgo got in there that time to knock it away. And then Shade fouls Prosper. And that'll be the second personal on Ashlyn Shade.
Ashton Slater is a terrific offensive rebounder, but Hannah Hidalgo, when she is at her best, is just everywhere. There are points in the Vanderbilt game where post players for Vanderbilt were catching the ball at the free throw line and looking around as if Hannah was going to be coming to get the ball from them.
Seeing ghosts.
Yes.
Moore can't hit the three. That's such a key for Notre Dame in this game.
Sure, Notre Dame did not mean to leave her that wide open, and just fortunately for Notre Dame, she wasn't able to hit it.
Hidalgo, Prosper, Moore, DeJesus, and Coles, the 5 for Notre Dame. They only go 7 deep, and at times it's more like 6.5 with the limited minutes that Sanchez normally plays. Here's Hidalgo, guarded by Arnold, wanted a foul, didn't get it.
But you see the switching again by Connecticut defensively.
And Quiñones will pick up a personal there. That is her first. Gino Auriemma told us before the game, he said, I'm confident we will play well defensively. We've played defensively well all year. We're just going to need to make some shots. They have certainly done their job on the defensive end thus far against Hidalgo and Notre Dame.
She just drew 3. A 3 again.
Hidalgo forcing it up and in, plus the foul. And now you see the animation from Hidalgo. Does that get her going?
Holy cow. A dribble penetration. She gets feet in the women's game.
5-6. Misses that free throw. Quiñones the rebound. Neil Ivey says she is a dog. These are her moments. She's built for this stage. As that's knocked out of bounds by DeJesus. We talked about the paint points for Hidalgo in the Sweet 16, just an absurd 28. She's averaged more than 13 per game, which leads all D1 guards. Of course, many of them come off of layups after steals. As DeJesus, I mean, Notre Dame's going to live with that all day if Sarah Williams wants to take that mid-range jumper.
Of course, and to your point, back to man, so helping off of Williams.
DeJesus coughs it up. Here is Fudd. Dishing over to Arnold. Arnold on the attack. Quiñones. Met nicely by Moore. Fudd. Trying to find space, cannot. Williams knocked away by Hidalgo, and it last touched Arnold. And again, Notre Dame sagging off of Williams, and it played a role in that turnover. And you see Hidalgo slapping it away, and it deflecting last off of Arnold.
Smart defensive game plan from Notre Dame.
Here's Moore. Coles, nice interior pass, and a held ball. Possession arrow belongs to Notre Dame.
The right
for the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Final Four, our coverage starts 6 Eastern on Friday, and the championship game, coverage beginning 2:30 Eastern on ABC a week from today.
Nice cut by Prosper after the switch.
Here's Hidalgo. Hidalgo spinning, floating, can hit, follows it up and puts it in. Hidalgo trying to force the action for Notre Dame.
UConn back with the small lineup. Williams off the floor, Zabel in.
Strong juggles, foul on the floor against Notre Dame.
I mean, it's remarkable. 5'7", and she draws multiple defenders but doesn't get boxed out and just able to finish and knows she can't come down and then go back up with it because it could get blocked by Sarah Strong. So instead, catches and finishes in one motion.
4 points in the second after not scoring in the first. Here's Fudd, the leaner is true, and Sarah Strong was having none of it.
Sarah Strong being very vocal in this huddle right now for UConn, an area of growth certainly for her last year to this year. Terrific defense and block firing up her team.
On pace to be the first player since 2012 to average over 3 steals and 1.5 blocks. 6 to shoot. Bransford trying to create. Bransford gets denied. It's Strong again, and it last hits Notre Dame.
Keep in mind, this is a Sarah Strong with 2 fouls, and still she's able to control her body and use her hands. 1 foul, not trying to get a second here in the first half.
Heckel has it knocked away by Moore. Notre Dame off the steal. Hidalgo to Moore's right. Moore can't hit. Jesus off the rebound, slides it out. Well, it might have been an opportunity for an open Hidalgo shot there, and Moore never saw her. Moore now 0 for her last 11 from 3. Hidalgo connects on a long 2. Her toes just on the line. You can see Hidalgo saying, review that one. Heckel gets around Hidalgo and lays it in. Astute take from Heckel. Hidalgo's attention was diverted just for a moment. Dame 10th. And their first since 2019.
Coming out of the timeout, Niele Ivey switches up back to the zone.
Here's Zabel, fouled by Hidalgo.
Competitive and using this fire that is the strength of her personality and why she's so great, but make sure that she's using it in a composed and poised way with her teammates later in the game. She said this is her biggest area of growth this season, is knowing when to meet her teammates with that intensity.
Great stuff. Ali and Sherelle, no doubt, has been a huge factor in Hidalgo's success. Here is Strong off on a 3. Hidalgo the rebound. UConn intentional about getting Strong a touch there out of the timeout.
Yeah, just some simple pistol action, getting her the screen to get a good look from 3.
Here's Hidalgo with space, fires. Maybe had it partially tipped. Hidalgo was looking for a whistle. Quinones stops and lays it in. Blanca Quinones has been UConn's best player today. She has 14 points. Fudd and Strong have both looked a little tentative at times on the offensive end of this game for Connecticut. And Quinones has picked up the slack. Here's Hidalgo, got bumped, no whistle, no make. Quinones off the rebound. Zabel attacking and laying. And Niele Ivey will take a timeout. I think Niele frustrated that Hidalgo did not get a whistle on either of those last 2 attempts.
3-on-1 break led by Blanca Quinones. The last possession, she makes the right decision. 3-on-2. Gets it to Zabel, who gets an easy look at 2.
To a legal defender. I agree with the no call.
Good articulation there. Thank you very much, Dee. Dee Kantner, who officiated 26 Final Fours. Here's Prosper. Gets her defender in the air. And then Quinones knew where the pass was coming back to. Here is Fudd. Strong mid-range is feathery.
That's where Sarah Strong had success in their last round game against North Carolina. Catching around the free throw line, just turning and making an easy shot.
A 6-0 UConn run. Lead is back to 10 for the Huskies. After Notre Dame had pulled to within 4. De Jesus on the drive, gets fouled by Zabel. That'll be her second.
Blanca Quinones with the steal on the defensive end of the floor. I thought Prosper should have gone into her and tried to get a foul. Quinones recovers, gets the steal. UConn pushes the other way, and this is where Sarah Strong just makes things look easy. Just turning and with a feathery touch hitting the 17-footer.
Let's check in with Hal.
Well, Blanca Quinones, a freshman, is having the game of her life right now. She has got a fascinating journey. When she was just 12 years old, she was playing with the U15 team in Ecuador, her home country. some scout coaches from the Italian national team saw her at that very young age and convinced her and her mother to move to Italy at 13 years old. She stayed there in the dorms, was there for all these years, and then finally came back. She has been playing with the Italian national team since she was 14 or 15 years old with the senior national team. So this mature, calm version of Blanca Quinones, that's why she's been playing up with grown women, playing against pros. She's ready for this moment.
All right, Ollie, good stuff. Incredible backstory there as Quinones turns it over.
Trying to get the reverse pivot and then dive to the basket by Sarah Strong, and Quinones just led her too much. 9
UConn turnovers in this first half. The team that's #1 in the nation in assist to turnover ratio. Hidalgo, rainbow delivery off the mark. Strong behind the back, in traffic. Hidalgo read it. Prosper last hit it. Still 20 on the shot clock for UConn.
What would you say is the radius that you should not dribble within Hannah Hidalgo?
Yeah.
4 feet,
yeah,
5 feet, 6 feet. Like, Sarah Strong has a pretty good handle here. As soon as you see Hannah Hidalgo, pick that ball up because she's going to go get it.
Hidalgo has set the D1 record for most steals in a single season. Fudd didn't pull the trigger there. Hidalgo comes, pass, and Aaron one, then last hit Sabell, and that is a 10th UConn turnover.
Great idea by AZ Fudd, but KK Arnold was cutting to the basket to cleanse the lane, and Fudd just threw it behind her.
8-point UConn lead, under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. De Jesus, not enough on it with Sarah Strong lurking. Quinones in transition, pedals it out of bounds. Last hit Prosper, stays with UConn as Kaylee Heckel will come and get Fudd. And it looked like Gino Auriemma was saying shoot the ball to AZ Fudd as she came to the UConn bench.
So was Gino Auriemma.
He also was. He's been a good coach for a while. That one. Strong flags it down. You know, you don't get away with mispronunciations on this broadcast.
On this crew.
Arnold can't finish. Bransford off the miss to Jesus into the corner. Moore alone. Still can't hit. Follows it up. Feeds Prosper. How about Bransford at 3? That one is good.
Notre Dame has done a really nice job throughout this first half, answering runs, staying attached, making shots when they need to.
And that was the fight that Niele Ivey was emphasizing to her team and then to us before the game. Said it is going to take 40 minutes of fight. Zabel, no, rebound to Jesus. Here come the Irish. Moore has Hidalgo open, finds to Jesus. Bransford bounces too tall. Too much on that pass and was deflected as well.
Or maybe too much in the ball.
We've heard that from a few coaches. A 3-second difference, game and shot clock. Heckel waiting, letting it wind. Shot clock all the way down, and Heckel somehow scoops it in. Wow! Almost felt like Heckel had waited too long, but a circus